This conference will now be recorded.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मौला मदद फरमा तौफीक ताईद हिम्मत व यारी तौफीक ताईद हिम्मत व यारी अल हय्युल कय्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा मदद फरमा मदद फरमा. So we are studying our book Practical Sufism and Spiritual Science. Today we are going to start a new chapter. Blessed names of God, may He be exalted. Ji.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It should be known that each attributive name of God is in the sense of such a specific act which only He can do, and which is in His control only, such as Al-Khaliq, Creator. There are great fundamental and key secrets in the names of God. For instance, let us think about the meaning of Al-Khaliq, Creator. Is it correct to think that God did not create anything in the beginning? Then He created the earth and the heaven, and now He is no longer creating the universe? This idea or hypothesis cannot be correct, because every attribute of God is eternal and not contingent, and there is no change in His sunnat, law. 32 by 62, 40 by 85. Point number 1. We have to reflect well on verse 30 by 30, related to the law of nature, and understand that the same one law of nature and creation is ordained for both the macrocosm, universe, and the microcosm, man. That is, the chain of creation within creation, or the renewal of similitudes, continues in both, without any beginning and end. In the above-mentioned verse, both are called Khalqullah, creation of God, in which there is no change.
So let's review this. It's so interesting that here also we are talking about attributed name of God. And the first name, which is Al-Khaliq, creator. As soon as we start this journey, people are always trying to ask how and when in terms of time and place. But when we talk of Allah being Khaliq, He was Khaliq, He is Khaliq, He will always stay Khaliq. It is not such that sometimes He is Khaliq and sometimes He is not. He is been Khaliq since eternity and He is going to be Khaliq always. So there is no time in the sense that we can say, oh, He was not Khaliq and now He is Khaliq. The way we live in time zone, right? So we always want to ask, when did it begin? There is no beginning, there is no end. Allah continues to create. If He is not creating, then He is not a creator. If He is not creating, then He is not a creator. If there were to be an end, then He is not a creator. And that is incorrect. Whenever Allah's attributive name we look at, they're always present, happening, going on continuously since eternity. So what the problem is, because we don't understand the concept of cycles. One cycle ends here, the cycle starts at another time, at another place. And the cycle continues to go on and on, and Allah is constantly creating. So it is not that He sometimes creates, He sometimes does not create. No, Allah's habit does not change. He is a creator, and that is the sunnah, that is His attributive name. So He continues to create. So we have to believe that, we have to understand that. The limitation we have, because we don't know, we think He's not creating. meaning the gap is in our knowledge, not that he is not creating. And then Allama Sahib is saying that we do need to reflect on 30 by 30, which is again related to the law of nature. That the law of nature is also that we have macrocosm and microcosm. Both are the universe and they are constantly being created. Now, how do we understand that creation? We do need to understand tajaddud amsal, renewal of similitudes. Remember that. Renewal of similitudes. That Allah continues to renew. Allah continues to renew without any beginning, without any end. And when he renews, his khalqullah, the creation of God, in which there is no change. 7,000 years ago, in the cycle before this cycle, we had prophets, we had humans, we had imams. There was no change, and today it is same too. So someone may ask, what is the difference? Difference is there is a renewal of similitudes, tajaddud amsal, which constantly continues to go on. Ji.
Point number 2. Khalqullah is the name of that supreme circle upon which are all the things and all the states through which man passes constantly, and it is the circle of his endless progress, taraqi, or it can be said that it is even greater than progress, because the latter gives the meaning of climbing a mountain or the rungs of a ladder, which has the limited concept of man being trapped in a low place from which he had to escape. This is not an important thing. The important thing is that for a true mu'min there is always a new glory.
Read the next one, Tushala.
Point number 3. It is mentioned in verse 52 by 29.
55.
I'm so sorry. Mafi, 55 by 29. Quote, every day he is in a new glory with respect to creatures. Unquote. Within the sun and its surroundings, there is neither cloud nor rain, no change of seasons, no alteration of day and night, no mountain or jungle, no spring, stream, rivulet, river, no garden, orchard, no beasts or birds, nor human beings, but everything which comes into existence by its blessings is on the earth. This example makes it clear that the mazhar, locus of manifestation of the divine attributes, is man, particularly the perfect man.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So Khalqullah is the name of that supreme circle. So not that there is one circle, two circle, there are so many circles. And then there is a supreme circle. Daira-e-Azam, supreme circle, Daira-e-Azam, upon which all the things and all the states through which the man passes constantly. And it is the circle of his endless progress, tarakki. Now, when we are looking at this, it sounds so beautiful and it makes sense. Versus when we say, we think of tarakki, we might say, for example, climbing on the mountain or climbing up the ladder, all that are limited it's a limited concept. And it tells us that the human is still limited in his tarakki. The most important thing we have to realize is that a true moment here, the distinction now we are making is of a human, a man climbing up a ladder or mountain versus the true moment who is climbing up in the circle. That true moment for him, there is always a new glory. There is always a new glory. Now, this new glory, how are we able to understand in concept of human, in concept of moment? We've been talking about Imam being in new glory every day. With the verse 55 by 29, we have been talking about Imam every day in new shan, every day new splendor, every day new glory, because the Jama changes. But for moment, for a true moment, this glory is there. Why? When we link that moment with this supreme circle. When we relate this moment in the cycle, then we would realize that yes, there are cycles, and Mominins are in cycles. They continue to go through Tajaddud Amsal. They go through renewal, but they are on this supreme cycle of what? Of creation. Allah continues to create. So we always knew about Imam being the new glory, but we never knew about human. But remember, when we talk of Mominins, the Amirul Mominin is Imam. And the first application of this law, that he is in renewal, he is on the supreme cycle, actually it relates to the Imam. And then after Imam comes the high ranking Mominin. The way when we study this Quran verse, right? Chapter 89, verse 22. Waj'a rabbuka wal malaku safan safa. That on that day, the Lord, along with the Mominins, his high-ranking Mominins will come in a line, right? Mominin sif dar sif jama honge, right? So all those high-ranking Mominin also are able to go through this renewal to come with the Lord of the time to help him. For example, we can think of the terms Hawari of Isa, Sahaba of Prophet Muhammad. All these words in English is just one word, companions. But actually there are different, in Urdu, different words are there for different prophets actually. But the bottom line is that there is Tajaddud Amsal in relation to the circle. When we talk of human progress by climbing up a ladder or climbing a mountain, that is very limited in time and place. When we are talking about Khalqullah, he is the creator of that supreme circle. And there are so many circles. First circle is of circle of, let's say, Hazrat Imam. Okay, circle of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, cycle. Now, then there's a cycle of the Nati. And then on top of the Nati Khan cycle, then there are cycles of 7,000 and after 7,000 cycle. So there are so many cycles after cycles, and then there is a supreme cycle. All these are referring to Allah's attributive name of Khaliq. He continuously creates. And then when we are taking the example of sun in the physical world, in the planet, when we take the example of sun, it's surrounding, there is neither cloud nor rain, no change of season. There's nothing around the sun. But everything which comes into existence by its blessing is on the earth. So sun is, we can see above, and through its light and heat, we are able to have growth, garden, orchard, river, and whatnot. It is all due to the sun, actually. Life upon earth is actually due to the sun. If we were not to have sun, the earth would die down. Our life of the earth planet is due to the sun. And we do know that sun is at the place of Imam. A moment who is alive, he's alive because of the Imam. So this example makes it clear that the mazhar, locus of manifestation of divine attribute, is man. Who is that man? That man is Hazrat Imam, who is at the place of sun. It is because of him that the humanity is living. Otherwise, there would not be any life if Imam is not there. So we took the example of the physical sun and understood how the planet has the life due to sun. In the world of religion, Imam, who is the mazhar of Allah, he is the locus of manifestation. And it is due to that mazhar that the humanity is living. We have the life on the planet. Otherwise, we would not be living. Take the example of just one moment, one mustajib. The example of that one moment is of like an earth. If that earth is not blessed by the sun through rain and heat, meaning knowledge and wisdom, that moment cannot climb up the ladder. That moment cannot progress. If there will be no Imam's guidance, that man would die down. There'll be no life. So I hope that we understand that when we talk of new glory every day, that new glory is of about Imam. Every Jama, there is a different Imam, and that's a renewal of similitudes. Imam's nur is same, but the Jama changes. And that changing of the Jama is actually Khalqullah, due to the creation of Allah. Allah is creating. But then for Imam, we can say that every day he is in a new glory. Nayi shaan mein, har din Imam. So I hope that you are able to interlink both. If there is a question, you can ask me. If not, then we can continue to go further.
So when you say दायरा आज़म, तो ऐसा sound करता है कि then we're talking about it कि तरक्की जो है ऊपर जाना. Then we say कि तरक्की की बात नहीं है क्योंकि ये worldly terms में आ गए, right? तो worldly terms में आ गए, लेकिन फिर जब बंदा मोमिन हर रोज एक नई शान में होता तो it sounds like कि हम आरिफ कामिल की बात कर रहे हैं या इमाम की बात कर रहे हैं.
लेकिन हम साथ साथ ये भी जानते हैं कि हाई रैंकिंग की मोमिन की भी बात हो रही ना. आरिफ कामिल कैसे बना? आरिफ कामिल एक मुस्तजीब था ना. मुस्तजीब से आरिफ कामिल बना ना. So do you do
तो जब
understand?
तक जमीन है, जब
हाँ.
तक जमीन है तो आसमान है obviously. Like,
Yes.
तो उस हिसाब से yeah, it's just yeah.
तो जमीन में भी फर्क होता है ना. For example, if every human has the microcosm in them, right? Every human has the potential to unite with the Imam. We all have come to this world for one purpose, to recognize him, right? But the individual who is ready, who is Momin and Salik, who is Arif, and his Arif Kamil, then he's truly one with the Imam, and then truly he is in new glory too.
Right.
But then those who are Asafal Safilin, there's no
Asfal Safilin. Yeah.
say it again.
Asfal Safilin.
It's hard.
Falas Safilin. Asfal Safilin.
Oh my goodness. It's tongue twister.
Okay. So जब this makes sense. जब नंबर 3 पढ़ते हैं तो ये भी समझ में आता है कि आयत की जो बात हो रही है कि खुदा जो है वो हर रोज नई शान में है. एंड दर्जात के बाद ये भी समझ में आता है कि खुदा की क्या बात हो रही है. मगर जब यहाँ पे ये बात हो रही है कि सूरज और ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, सो एक तरीके से समझ में आता है कि सूरज इज नेसेसरी टू हैव ग्रोथ, टू हैव लाइफ. बट anything which is closer to Suraj cannot survive. How do you understand that?
So that is a different example. Here we have to stay focused in here. What it says, that the presence of the sun matters. Within the sun and its surrounding, there is neither cloud nor rain, no change of season. Nothing is there. No mountain, nothing. Nor human beings. But everything which comes into existence by its blessings is on the earth. So sun is at the point of giving. Earth, when it's at the receiving point, will have the blessings. Okay? There are very many planets, right? But there is no life on those planets. Why? Because there is no sun. Does it make sense? Right?
Yeah,
So,
I think it makes sense as like when you're saying it, it makes sense as sun के function पे focus कर रहे हैं, not on the sun.
yes. Presence of the sun and then its blessings being received by the earth. The life on the earth is due to sun. अगर sun ना हो तो life ही ना होगी. Right? So sun is the creation of Allah. Allah is creating the sun, right? Khalqullah.
Niamat Saiba?
Ji.
Okay, very basic question. But if, okay, are we talking about Tajaddud Amsal is possible, constant, and present for true moments, and even within true moments there are ranks, so it's possible at multiple ranks, not only at the highest ranks. And if that's the case, and the possibility and opening for that is, well, that it's the law of nature, so it's happening. And so what can you just talk to us about how in our lives where we are at these really low ranks that we can that we can that we that we know this is happening, that we see, like what you were talking about in the previous book study, that how there are possibilities of a true mu'min jumping the ladder. And I know it's a different analogy, but I'm talking about in very limited languaging, right? About progress. Even progress isn't the right word, as we saw in the previous point. But again, I'm not being clear, but do you understand at all what I'm trying to say? Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Everything is possible with Imam. Everything is possible with Imam. We have to have that belief and hope. Does it happen? Yes, it does happen. How does it happen? Let me give you an example. Let's say if someone who is a Mormon who's working very hard in the path of knowledge, ilm amal, and they're working very hard, but their time in the life comes to an end. Now there are no breaths for them remaining for them to be able to complete the Isma Azam or complete the journey of the knowledge and become one. The jumping here will mean that his life will be extended. His life will be extended so he can finish the work. Does it make sense, Shala?
So that's an example of Tajaddud Amsal and in effect some version of a new glory. Correct? Is that correct?
Tajaddud Amsal is a very high concept. So Tajaddud Amsal is renewal, right? So renewal, if you want to understand in a simple, very simple term, when a couple have a child, it's their renewal. Parents having a child, it's their renewal. Similarly, in Ruhaniyat, there is renewal. Renewal, it happens at a higher level. For now, the way we are talking, we have to right now make our concept stronger and make it applicable to Imam to keep it clear in our mind. Yes, there is renewal, and renewal of Imam, the Joma changes. But then renewal in simplified means we can look at the garden, a flower which dies down, but then there is another bud and there is another flower. There is a renewal. So renewal in that terms is constantly happening, there's constant growth. So I am having difficulty that the concept of renewal of similitudes, what do you understand by that? renewal is very simple, a renewal is very hierarchy. Today, when we learn this knowledge, when we go to bed, and then there is exchange of the souls. A mu'min who has done a lot of zikr, learned a lot of knowledge, when they go to bed and when they are sleeping, the souls they will receive, they'll be much more powerful. Just because their energies were so high, so receiving, so elevated, that the soul renewal of souls, when it happens during the sleep time, they will get very energetic souls, which will give them more power to achieve more the next day. Then the next day more, then further more. And then the journey becomes very, very fast. That is also renewal.
This is really helpful. Thank you so much.
So where were we?
Point number 4.
See, we have time, right? It's late now, right? Karima?
No, it's not late. It's late for you.
Yeah, I'm okay, but you might not be.
No, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
It's
Kareem?
3:40 here, so probably another 5-7 minutes.
Okay, let's quickly read this next point.
Point number 4. The wise Quran says about God's attributes of creatorship, Khaliqiyat, and knowledge in verses 15 by 86, 36 by 81. Quote, He is the creator, the all-knowing, unquote. Here the second attributive name has come as an exegesis of the first attributive name, in which it is alluded that although there are many levels of creation, the ultimate one is that in which the intellectual creation takes place through the light of knowledge, and which is the highest place of spirituality.
So now we are learning about Khalqiyat. And this is from chapter 15, verse 86. Al-Khalqu, Al-Khalqul Alim, meaning the one who is the creator and the one who is knowing. So now we are learning about the second attributive name, which is that he is all knowing. But in reality, the knowing part is actually exegesis of the creator. The one who is creating is all knowing as well. So all knowing is part of the creation. And that is why at many levels of creation, the ultimate, the highest most creation is the intellectual creation. So yes, there is a creation, but when we talk of him being all knowing, it is talking about intellectual creation, which takes place through the light of knowledge, which is the highest place of spirituality. So this is the answer to all the questions actually. So when we talk of him being creator, his highest creation is actually intellectual creation. But that creation comes under the name of all-knowing, that he knows it all. How does he know? Because it relates to intellect. And that is the highest place of spirituality as well, because it is in the knowledge that we would learn about the spirituality. So all-knowing is part of the creator, meaning he is the khalik of also our intellect. And when we seek knowledge, definitely there is tarakki in ruhaniyat too. And that is the key point which was missing, I would say, in Jamaat, that we focused on the creator, we focused on ruhaniyat, but the link to knowledge was missing. And in this attributive name, we are understanding that the one who is the Khalik, he is all knowing too. And the part of knowing is actually the explanation or exegesis of the creator. How? Because he also creates the intellect. And through that intellect, a Mu'min Salih can reach to highest level of spirituality. First is ilmul yaqeen, and then comes the ainul yaqeen. So this is very simple and very, very clear, right? So we can stop here, and inshallah, we can continue with the next point. If you think of any questions even later, do not hesitate and share, okay? Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Shukran Mola. Subhanallah. Beautiful session.
Shukran Mawla. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yeah, Madad, thank you so much.
Love you, Madad.
Mhm.